If any car's going to convince me to love automatic driving, it's this one. It's the Abarth 500e. I'm at Borehamwood Driving Test Centre, which is quite a nice driving test centre actually. The facilities here are a strong 7. The toilets are clean, the only problem, the soap had run out. The waiting room's nice, light, spacious, well decorated for a driving test centre, and the instructors here are really lovely. We're going to do 2 things with this. I'll show you an automatic driving test, so if you're learning automatic, you know exactly what to do. Plus then we'll rate and review Borehamwood as a driving test centre. Let's go. Funny story actually. The guy that dropped this off yesterday, and he had to get back to Romford, and I said, I'll give you a lift back to the station, mate. You can tell me about the car. We sat in the car for a bit. That car flashed me, so we are good to go. It's a mandatory left turn, so I could not signal, but I'm not wearing them out, so I'm going to. That lorry behind me is a long way behind, so I'm going to keep going. And I'm speeding up so that I don't slow him down. So I dropped the guy to the station, but before we set off, I sat in the car for a second and I was looking for the gears. I was like, yeah, it's an automatic, duh. So then I put my foot on the accelerator and he goes, he needs to put it in D. I was like, I actually haven't driven an automatic car for about 3 years. The last automatic car that I've driven was a Fiat 500 electric with the exact same setup. My mind is just in manual. What's really nice about this car is that you can drive it with just one foot. It's got regenerative braking. We are going right next, mirror, signal. I'm gonna try and go around this entire thing from here without braking. I've been to Borehamwood Driving Test Centre for an actual driving test once. I'll tell you the story. And then we'll get into the route and the automatic. We're leaving here, so I'm gonna signal left, and then I'm turning left, so I'm keeping that signal on. So I'm from Lewisham, and I've been to Borehamwood. Why have I been to Borehamwood? I've also gone the wrong way. That was a confusing little instruction. If you go the wrong way on your driving test, your examiner won't mind, and this is gonna take me back straight out onto the route, so no drama. So I've been to Borehamwood. Alex from Love Island, right? This isn't my claim to fame or anything, but I taught her how to drive. Absolutely random collab from Love Island. One of the nicest humans I've ever met, and she lived somewhere near here. Borehamwood was her driving test centre, and she passed first time. Shenley is where we're going next. I've moved over into the right lane really, really early because it's quite busy and I don't want to get stuck in the left lane. Unless I'm going to get undertaken, I'm going to move into the... this is bringing back memories. I actually do remember this. Unless I'm going to get undertaken or there's no reason to move across that early, I'm going to move across nice and early. The thing, Sky Studios Elstree, oh my God. Sky and Comcast. Don't get distracted on your driving test. The thing with automatic, right? A lot of people will tell you that you're not driving properly. It's really easy. I've driven this car for a day. I'm going to be dailying this car for a month. I have some beef with people who say that automatic driving's too easy. You're not concentrating when you're driving. All it is go and stop, so your mind wanders. I'm telling you now, driving this is so relaxing. It takes all of the overwhelm out of driving. There's no vroom, there's no huge theatre and fanfare. It's just calm. I'm not gonna say I'm an automatic fanboy, but this car, if any car will convert me, it'll be this one. The fact that you don't have to do gears, that doesn't mean that you're not driving properly. It doesn't mean that you're not concentrating. It means that you can concentrate on other things now. It means that you can spend more of your brain power, especially on a driving test, or especially when you're learning to drive and it's overwhelming. You can spend that brain power on, oh my God, I'm controlling a 2-ton vehicle driving at 30 miles an actual hour, instead of on like, I can't remember what gear I'm in. Like, when I do a speed change, I keep going to do that. Don't need to. It just does it for you. It's there. It's so slick, it's so smooth. This is an electric car, right? This is the first day I'm actually driving it properly. Yesterday was rainy, I drove it maybe like 5 miles just to get used to it. Because it's electric and I live in London, the hardest thing is actually going to be charging it. I haven't charged it yet. Tonight is going to be the first time I charge it. It's going to be difficult. If you got any tips or hints or advice about how to charge an electric car or like strategies, I'll be extremely grateful. Right, Borehamwood has got some spicy stuff. This is a national speed limit road. I'm doing 45 miles an hour. God, the car is smooth. I'm sorry. Honestly, I'm not joking. This is a press car. I've not been paid to say anything nice about it. If it's bad and trash, I'll tell you. This car is incredible. It's so smooth. National speed limit. What does that mean? It means that the maximum limit of the speed is 60 miles an hour. I'm currently I've not once hit 50. I'm doing the safe speed of the road. If the road's narrower, I'm going to be going slower. The less I can see, the slower I go. Shenley, 30 miles an hour, 64310. Oh, the car is just... I actually haven't driven my petrol Abarth since I started driving this. I'm dailying it for an entire month and seeing if I can live with it. The only reason I might not get my own is because I can't charge it. I don't have a driveway, I live in a first floor flat. I think that's going to be the most headachy thing ever. Borehamwood's actually great. Look at this place, it's like just slightly outside London. You don't see London driving test centres like this at all. Look at the area, look at the vibes and the ambience. What I do is I rate driving test centres. I've got a whole series about it. I go and travel and visit different driving test centres around the country. It's great. You guys learn something, I learn something, and I have a great time traveling. Borehamwood's one I haven't done before, so welcome if you're from Borehamwood and you're taking your driving test here. This is the first video I've got for you. I know, wild. Borehamwood's great. The vibes and the ambience are going to be very high, but what I do is I rate the facilities, the area, the difficulty of passing at this place, or whatever place I'm at, and then I give you an overall score. I've said the facilities are a strong 7 because they're great. I'm going to give you a difficulty in passing here once I've done a bit more of the route to see how actually difficult it is to pass here. And then I'm going to give you an area score. When we rate the area, we're talking about the vibes, the ambience, the energy, how nice it is just to have a drive here generally, how much I'm enjoying the vibes here. Good maze, it's all great, it's all concrete, bad vibes, -1,000,000. Somewhere like Southend, we drove by the seaside. I gave it 10 points for area. The point of this series is I'm trying to find the perfect 10 driving test centre. 10 for vibes and ambience, 10 for difficulty, which means it's really easy, 10 for facilities, and overall 10. Haven't found one yet. The closest I've been was Northern Ireland. You've got to be quite skilled if you pass at Borehamwood. None of this sitting 20-mile-an-hour traffic all the way around, and you've got to be trusting and confident that you are going at the correct safe speed for the road. Because look at this. Another. I did just speed up too early there. I did. On your driving test, that would be a fail, for sure. But I'm not on a driving test, I don't care. I'm just taking in the ambience in the car. If you see a speed sign, what it means is, it's that speed past the speed sign. So this says 40, I'm still at 60 until I get past the speed sign, now it's 40. So if it says national speed limit and you're in a 30, you don't go over 30 until you hit the national speed limit sign. So what I was saying is you've got to be really confident about your speed if you're going to pass here, because all of these national speed limit roads, and they're normal roads, in London this would be 20. Wherever you're from, it would probably be 30. If you're going to be going national speed limit or trying to pick the correct speed of the road, you've got to be thinking to yourself like, oh, okay, right, what's the safe speed of the road? The absolute maximum is 60, but that's almost never safe. You've got to be thinking, what's the hazard like? What's the road condition like? What's the road surface like? How wet is it out? How much space have I got around me? How much can I see in front of me? All of those things add up and go into what the safe speed that you're gonna go down a national speed limit road is. Wow, I wish I took driving tests here all the time. I bloody love driving around here. This is great. This is so great. You lot are really lucky to live here and take driving tests around here. If you're an instructor in Borehamwood, shout out you. Automatic versus manual. I'm in an automatic car. If I swapped right now to do manual, I'd have to be doing clutch, I'd have to be doing gears. It's only a tiny switch. I've always said it's only a tiny switch. It is literally you're adding one more thing, and that one more thing isn't tricky. It's not difficult. But when you're talking about driving, that one more thing is the difference between you being overwhelmed, you being completely zoned out because there's one too many things. What we call this is task saturation. I heard this from a pilot channel, Mentor Pilot, and he's called it task saturation. I was like, oh, that definitely applies to driving as well. What you see with learners sometimes is they get completely saturated with doing way too much all at the same time. Instead of just maybe their decisions getting slightly worse, the decisions just completely stop. If you feel like sometimes you're driving and you're task saturated, like I was coping fine until it got a little bit busier, and then suddenly like now it's really busy, I can't do anything. That's probably because you've just got one too many things on your plate. This, even though I can drive a manual, like no problem. I've been doing it for a long time. I feel so much more relaxed in this car. I don't get overwhelmed when driving, but this I'm finding a really enjoyable experience. I never thought I would say that. Do you know what made me change my mind? Did you watch the video with Kim? I'm gonna link it at the end. Watch the video with Kim. I used to be one of those absolute morons who said, no, everyone should drive manual. I didn't realize that some people just find it easier. I was like, well, just, you know, it's just one more thing to add, surely. No, it's not. For some people, it's not. Honestly, I enjoy driving a manual. There's the theatre, there's the whole show of it. But this is enjoyable for a whole different reason. I used to say if you don't care about driving, get an automatic and it's fine. I care about driving and I'm bloody enjoying driving this. That's a left turn only, let's move across. The one thing that would absolutely piss me off if I had this car for a long term would be, thanks for indicating, would be the range. Honestly, the range. I've gone from Lewisham to Borehamwood. To get home, I've got to recharge it. Like the M25 section took off like 20% of battery. If I had to recharge my Abarth 595 petrol to get home, all I'd have to do is go to a petrol station, 5-minute fill up, done. I don't think I'm, what's the word, patient enough for electric, but I did bring my laptop, so I'm open to change my mind on that one as well, so I can just get some work done while my car's charging. Might be okay. If you're an electric or automatic learner, I'd really want to hear from you. What's the wins, what's the losses on automatic and electric? Also, if you're learning in Borehamwood, shout me. I want to hear from you. What are your experiences, especially if you're taking a test in Borehamwood? What was the experiences of your examiner and your instructors? So many mini roundabouts, one after the other, but see, when I'm in this car, my junction procedure is so much simpler, so I can approach them so much more easily. Mini roundabout, I'm lifting off the gas, the car is slowing down. Do I need to signal? No. I'm looking to the right, clear. I get back on the gas and I speed up. With a manual, there's a little bit more to it than that. So you really have to think a little bit more and do your junction procedure sooner. But you still only get an automatic license.
But all the cars are going to be automatic after 2035?
No, they're not. All of the new cars are going to be automatic after 2035. And unless you're absolutely loaded, you're probably not buying a new car. So all of the new cars are going to be automatic, which means electric cars or hybrid cars. Those are so expensive. Like you're looking at minimum £30,000. Petrol Abarth. For a brand new car. Nobody who's just passed their driving test is going to be affording a brand new car. You're all going to be buying second-hand cars. Second-hand cars can still be petrol, which means that you can still absolutely buy a manual car after 2035, just not brand new. Let's have a look at what this coach is doing. Indicating left, so he's probably stopped. I was approaching nice and slowly. And then, ooh, definitely get some funny looks. When I've got all the cameras rigged up on a fluorescent yellow car, I know it's adrenaline green, I know. We're coming to the end of the route. I'm gonna give you some scores now. The area around here is really nice. There's some town centre, so you get properly trained on town centre stuff. There's loads of rural, so you get properly trained on rural stuff. Overall, it's really nice to drive around here. Look at the calming vibes. All the speed limits are sensible. Not like actually in London, and we're only, what, a stone's throw from London, actually. The area, I can't give it a 10 because it's got no seaside. It wasn't that nice. We didn't drive through the woods like we did in some other driving test routes. But it's really nice. 7.5. It's got to be 7.5. If there was any more green, it would have got an 8. That's a really strong score, 7.5. Difficulty in passing here, it absolutely can't get a 10 for the sheer amount of roundabouts. That would be mad. I'm going to give it a 6. Sensibly, I'm going to give it a 6 because I know a lot of learners fail on national speed limit roads. 6 for difficulty, 7.5 for area, 7 facilities, and Borehamwood overall, I guess it's fair if it gets a 7. I've enjoyed it here. It's really nice. And I tell you what, if you're learning to drive, what you need to watch is this playlist. It's my best driving test hints, tips and advice, secrets from a driving examiner, all of that stuff. It's really useful. Interested in where else I've driven? Click this one. This is Borehamwood Driving Test Centre. I'm going to park where I started. See you in the next one. Thanks, peace, bye!